Ahí lo ven. Wilfred Cabrera tiene un maratón en Fajardo. Creo que este weekend a las 5 de la tarde. Un 5K. ¿Por qué le digo esto? Why do I tell you all of this? Why do I tell you that Wilfred Cabrera is having a 5K in Fajardo, Puerto Rico? It's one, to battle cancer, and I'm going to leave this up here, right here, for you guys to see. Because, yes, everybody's been affected by cancer or will be affected by cancer some way or another, right? I just moved to a place in Florida. My wife made a friend about 6 months ago, and she passed away. She got literally diagnosed. She looked healthy as hell. Lasted 6 months, passed away. Horrific death. Her cousin, his wife's, his father-in-law just passed away from cancer. My sister's best friend from childhood. She's 5 years younger than me, my sister. Her friend was the same way. She fought that like a warrior for years and died of death that I don't wish upon anyone. So cancer is a big thing. It's a big deal. Cáncer es algo que es feísimo y hay que erradicarlo, right? That's how you say it? Eradicate, right? Sacarlo de aquí, curarlo, lo que sea. No me importa. Pongo una palabra. Bueno, viene siendo, it comes to be that it came to light. It kind of slipped out, maybe not, from Subriel, that Xander Zayas, because his friend, Subriel Matías' friend, Cabrera, wanted Xander to just make a quick promo to help out the cause, to get people to know about this 5K. And he's a huge fan, apparently, of Xander Zayas. Said no to the promo because the reason being that Subriel is friends with Cabrera, so they cannot work together. We're going to take a look at a video that I had to shorten up. Again, disclaimer, I shortened it up to get to my points. I did not shorten it up to make an agenda. ¿Ok? Yo corté esa entrevista para que sea más a lo que yo estoy, el tema con que yo quiero hablar. No que yo quiero hacer un pleito aquí, sacarlo fuera de contexto. No. I don't want to take things out of context. I shorten it up so you guys can understand really what the crux is about. So, vamos para allá. Let's just go right to the main story. So, aquí está el filósofo con seda. Y ay, se me olvidó el nombre del entrevistador que está aquí. I forgot the name of this guy of his podcast. Shit. But anyway, he had a great podcast interview with Subriel Matías, and Subriel in this podcast revealed what I just told you, but let's listen to him from him himself.
No, hasta ahora no se me las camas porque.
So you see the interview right there. He has said that so far right now, Xander Zayas is very humble and very chill. And Subriel agreed, and then he threw in a real quick jab for what the cameras are showing. So wait, what?
Wilfred Cabrera tiene una corporación algo que estaba haciendo con algo de cáncer.
Yo te he visto con ese muchacho. No lo conozco, pero te he visto con él.
Y alguien cercano a Xander le pidió un video para que le hiciera a Wilfred Cabrera. Y él no se lo hizo porque era un amigo.
So that's where he just explained what I just explained to you. Wilfred Cabrera reached out to Xander's camp, or Xander himself, and he came back about a video that he would produce real quick just to promote the 5K for cancer. And Xander said no because Subriel is friends with Cabrera. That was the reason on why Xander wouldn't do the little quick promo.
Yo me quedé como que, cabrón, en serio.
¿Qué pasó?
Sí.
Tú dices que él sabe.
Now he asked him, this happened? And he was like, yeah.
¿Dónde le dijo que no el video? Porque Wilfred era amigo.
Mi amigo. ¿Sabes? Yo no tengo competencia contigo en la vida. Y bendito, me da pena porque Wilfred, cuando me lo dice, mi culpa, ¿sabes? Me sentí mal.
Subriel is saying the reason why he didn't get the promo done is my fault because I'm happen to be his friend. So he's saying, had I not been your friend, you probably would have done it because you're such a huge fan, and who wouldn't do something like that, right? But he feels responsible for his friend not getting the promo. Él se siente responsable por la razón irresponsable, por la razón que su amigo no pudo coger la promoción o hacer la promoción con Xander por culpa de él, porque él siendo su amigo, pues entonces le dijo que no. Because being his friend, he's telling him no. So he feels like that's my fault because I'm your friend and that's on me. That's crazy, right? That's crazy thinking.
Porque él está creando algo, un movimiento,
Que es muy admirable.
y por mi culpa, de cierta manera, no pudo obtener, ¿verdad? Él es fanático de Zayas full. Algo ridículo.
He said he's a ridiculous fan of Xander Zayas. Ridiculous fan.
Que no sé cómo él haya visto porque no me comentó eso, pero sí lo vi sentido.
No lo hice con esa intención de
So here's now the part where Subriel goes on El Filósofo and Urban Network to clarify, right, what he really meant. But did he actually clarify it? Because to me, he kind of also threw a little bit more fire and didn't really clarify much, but it's interesting. Es muy interesante. Yo pensé, bueno, Subriel, tú no clarificaste casi nada más que tiraste un poco de más de gasolina al fuego, pero vamos a ver. Let's see if it's
crear algún bochincho mucho menos, al contrario, ¿sabes? Realmente ahora mismo yo entiendo que Xander, obviamente, ¿verdad? Desde mi punto de vista y opinión personal, Collazo es lo que yo considero ahora mismo la cara del boxeo.
So he's saying, me, look, one thing, and I love Xander, but for me, Collazo is the face of Puerto Rican boxing. He said boxing, but I know he meant Puerto Rican boxing. And to an extreme, it's true. He's the only unified champ. So, yeah.
Aparte de Zayas, obviamente tiene 22 años, un nene, tiene el mundo por delante, ¿sabes? Él se puede caer mañana, Dios no lo quiere, y vuelve y se levanta. A diferencia de mí que tengo 33, yo estoy a punto de retirarme.
He's saying Xander has the world ahead of him, and I never meant to say any harm to him based on what I said before. If matter of fact, if he was to fall from grace right now, and God stopped loving him just for a second, they'll pick him right back up because he's so young. Me, I'm 33. I'm almost retired. I mean, I'm just here now, making sure I make money.
Listo, lo que yo ahora mismo es curándome, por decirlo de esta manera. ¿Sabes? Que yo no tengo ninguna doble intención de crear algún bochicho, pues yo tengo la posibilidad de llegarle a él a través del país, ¿me entiendes?
He's like, I don't want no beef. I never wanted to start nothing. It was never the intention. I especially through his father, like I would never do that. That was not my intention. I don't want no beef, no rumors out there.
¿Sabes? Simplemente era algo que quería decir y tengo más para decir, ¿sabes? Referente a él, pero...
And that right there is where I think he just shit the bed. Ahí fue que metió la pata en la mierda. Él dijo que él tenía más que decir, pero no va a decirlo. He said he has more to say about Xander Zayas, but he ain't gonna say it. That means the Xander Zayas that we know apparently is not the Xander Zayas that is behind the camera. And they're gonna touch on that later. They're gonna go into it, but I'm like, you just threw more fire. You could have just ended it and said, nah, my man, it's cool. No. He said, nah, there's more. But wait, there's more. And I'm like, bro, you didn't just... Okay. Wow. Entonces ahí se fue. Para mí ahí tiró más leña al fuego.
¿Para qué lo voy a hacer como que veo que no es? ¿Me entiendes? Yo dije eso porque en verdad no fue a mí que me lo hizo. Pero sí fue por culpa mía.
He still feels responsible for that, even though he had really nothing to do with it.
Fue él, o fue el padrastro, o el papá.
He said it couldn't even been him. It could have been his father, his stepfather. It could have been anybody. It might not have been him. But
Yo no sé, pero fue alguien del entorno de él.
But it was somebody from his camp that told Wilfred that.
¿Me entiendes? Yo no voy a seguir abundando para crear algo, no al contrario, ¿sabes? Eso ya murió. ¿Sabes? Que no quiso, pero está bien. Él tiene sus razones.
He said, well, I'm not going to keep harping on it. If he don't want to do it, he don't want to do it, and he has his reasons. Él tiene sus razones, tiene verdad.
Es tu amigo, para que tengan un contexto de lo que el pana Wilfred Cabrera, él tiene como una especie de fundación o movimiento que es contra el cáncer, que hace corrida y pues de ahí abona, me imagino, para aportar a esta mala enfermedad que es el cáncer. De hecho, el próximo domingo, el 24, hay una corrida, lo sé porque yo dije, taguéame en todo, que yo lo voy a meter para el frente, así que tiene una corrida. ¿Y dónde va a ser la corrida si tú sabes, te subí el...
En Fajardo va a ser. En Fajardo.
Y si se dan cuenta, esas son las ticheras que ha usado Subriel en los últimos meses en las promociones de las peleas, que está puesto para el problema. Entonces
no me creen, nada. Y es como tú dices, quizás no fue ni él, ¿me entiendes? A lo mejor fue alguien de...
He doubled down on it again and said maybe it wasn't even him, bro. Posiblemente no fue él.
Cercano a él, ¿Sabes? Cuando viene a ver, él en muchas ocasiones no toma decisiones. Acuérdate que él es el libro que han querido proyectarle de Verdejo, ¿me entiendes? Y no quieren cometer quizás los mismos errores.
Now that's interesting. He said since Verdejo was top rank and they had this diamante persona for him, right? They had all this stuff and they didn't want to make that same mistake with Xander. So what he's trying to insinuate, y por eso digo yo que está metiendo la pata más la mierda, porque está diciendo más o menos que yo, this is Verdejo all over again, right? Kinda. They kinda like projecting a different person in the camera so that way and telling him to be maybe a certain way so they can market him that way and not to fall out of that character so that way they can market him better because they want to learn from Verdejo. If that was his true personality, they wouldn't have to tell him that, right? Verdejo eventually just he couldn't hold back what he was, you know, it just couldn't hold it back.
Sí. Aunque pienso yo que él hacer ese video, ¿verdad? Para esa causa, eso no le iba a restar, al contrario, iba a complacer a un fanático que lo admira con cojones. Porque créeme, Wilfred Cabrera es fanático de todo boxeador puertorriqueño.
And it's true, that would have been a great look for Xander. That would have been a great look. Man, shit, I'm showing up. Bro, where is it? Get some security. Yo, I'm showing up for a little bit. Blah, 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 blah. Get some eyes on you.
Igual que yo. Y ese hombre Usaya es algo cabrón, ¿sabes?
Yo no le puedo echar la culpa a Xander en nada de esto, aunque él es dueño de sus actos, igual que tú. Cuando en el caso de Xander, pues lo cuidan demasiado y también al mismo tiempo lo alejan un poco de quién es él de verdad, porque cuando tú conoces a Xander y hablas con él, pues es otro chamaquito, un chamaquito igual que todos los demás, con un sueño.
So Xander has a different side, or maybe that is not alluded as negative, right? That is alluding to not being as negative, I should say. Porque él dice, bueno, lo están, and it's true, they're taking him away from the limelight. They kind of scripted him so much that they're taking him away from who he is, and they're not letting us see the real him. When you talk to him, you see the real him. This is just a young kid, like he's a happy-go-lucky kid, right? So maybe it's different with certain people, right? It's like you one way here and you one way there, right?
Quiere crecer, pero muchas veces esta gente por vestirlo y disfrazarlo de algo que todavía no es para crecerlo y todo eso, pues hacen una película que lo aleja.
And he says basically they making a persona for him that he's not there yet, that he's not that person yet. And so it just takes him away even further from where he needs to be. Because it's true, they're projecting Xander to be like this old man already. And Xander's a young dude, man.
De la realidad.
And it's true. And listen, at the end of the day, Xander should be connecting with the younger crowd, with the younger people, getting them on board, getting them to buy tickets, merch, all of that stuff. And the more you make him look like he's, you know, this DA blown out, straight cut, and he might be that, it takes him further away from what you might want him to be, where the money might be with the young people. Xander no, la juventud no lo reconoce como uno de los de ellos. La juventud moderna de la misma edad de él no lo reconocen, no lo aceptan. They don't accept him, they don't recognize him. That's why Xander doesn't sell tickets. Por eso Xander no vende este boleto, porque Xander no tiene la juventud al lado de él, no la tiene ahí al lado. Él tiene los viejos. He got the old people, the churchgoers, o sea, la de la iglesia. No tiene a nadie de la juventud ahí al lado, porque ahí es donde está el dinero. Y no los tiene porque lo tienen tan pintado que mira, they have him so straight edge and so clean that he just looks like a church pastor at times. You know what I'm saying? They don't got him with the young people, and they should let him kind of reign a little bit better than what he is now. Let him loose a little bit. Deja que soltarlo un poco para que él crezca y traiga esa juventud al lado de él. Porque si no, mijo, estoy diciendo ahora mismo, nunca vas a vender con Xander. You're never gonna sell with Xander if you're gonna keep him that way. But let me know, comment down below, what do you think? You think that it was Xander himself, or you think it was just somebody from his camp? And if it was somebody from his camp, it had to get there somehow. It had to come from somewhere. And they had to know that if they said this to Wilfred, the guy, he was going to get back to Subriel and it was going to get back. So, bad on them. But that was bad decision making. But let me know in the comments below, what do you think? Did Subriel make it worse? Did he clarify for you in your eyes? Again, the 5K, the 24th of August in Fajardo, Puerto Rico. If you're there, bro, go ahead and please support. And see you in the next video. And I'm out. Peace.